All right. Well, today's the day. I get to find out what the R2 is like in person. Enough with reading online or seeing YouTube videos, anything like that. And we get to go experience the real deal. Go take a test drive, a little demo. Curious if someone will sit in the passenger seat with me and kind of go over it, is my guess, even with being familiar with EVs or not. I kind of hope so, just so I get all the, even though, nerding out to YouTube videos and all that other stuff, it's nice to actually have a representative kind of go over the UI and all that other stuff first, because I feel like, especially with these EVs now, since everyone likes to change up anything from the door handles to your UI and driving experience, all that stuff, it's just nice to have someone that's familiar with it. But honestly, I'm excited. Um, it's good to know other. I feel like branch out and know other ecosystems and see how they approach the whole EV aspect of it all. So, um, what else? I guess expectations kind of going into it without having seen it just yet. Obviously, online you're gonna see, ooh, Model Y killer, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're already into EVs and you want like an SUV, then yes, maybe. But I just feel like that's two different categories. The Model Y is more of, yes, like a city go around, like SUV, road tripper, all that good stuff. But I feel honestly the R2 is more positioned at people in the Subaru camp, honestly. Just because with like Subarus like Trail Seeker and Uncharted that they have out that are EVs now, I feel like those, in my opinion at least, they're more looking just like plain city, at city driving kind of cars, just with some plastic cladding maybe on the wheel wells. But other than that, Rivian, in terms of their marketing, in terms of what I've seen online with their shops and everything, look way more outdoorsy than even Subaru. So I almost think that's if you're like cross shopping, let's say maybe like a new Forester, then if you're able to or curious about going EV, then maybe the R2 is for you, and that's what I want to find out. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see what it's like. Not only that, but the ride height. Obviously, that'll be a big one. Ride height there, and then also just the ground clearance. I think you have about, I want to say, 10 inches of ground clearance, so you won't be scared to go over a curb or anything like that. But enough chatting. Let's actually go see the damn thing. I'm excited. All right. Just got done with the R2. So before I forget, here are some of my thoughts. Just briefly, 30-minute test drive, demo, all that good stuff. What do I think about it? So first things first, the one thing that stands out to me in terms of the R2 versus even like my 2022 Model 3 is instantly the cameras on that car are super crisp. Whether it be the front-facing camera, the blind spot cameras, all that stuff, just super crystal clear. Like, here's an example. So, in my car, if I turn left or anything like that, or here, I'll just open this guy up right here. That's the camera quality for me right now. Comparative to the R2, it's first world problems, but it's still something to note. Plenty of storage space in that thing, especially with the back seats folded down. I was talking to the guy there, and because I got into the car, started driving, all that good stuff, and I was like, dang, the steering weight feels pretty light. So I asked him once I was done and everything if there was an option, in the settings or anything like that to change that. And as of right now, at least, at the time of this recording and everything, there's currently not. So that's just the standard steering wheel weight, which to me felt a little light compared to me coming from a standard weight of the Model 3. And even me, I'm trying to think back of my Forester days. It almost felt a little bit lighter than that even. So that's just something to keep in mind. Self-driving features, super nice. It was kind of interesting to have two ways to change the set speed. So, for example, if they're on the freeway when you're going, 65, or that's what the speed limit is, and you want to go, let's say, 72, it always set the autonomy speed to whatever you were going, and then you would have to adjust it from there, whether it be on the stock or on their haptic wheels on the steering wheel, which were super good. But yeah, I found that to be a little bit interesting. And then on that same stock, you would have your like car profiles in terms of how close you want to be to the car ahead of you, how aggressive you want to be in terms of lane changes on the freeway, which that part was super cool. I wish I can't remember if Tesla ever had that with the whole auto steering thing or anything like that, but I know it's in their full self-driving. But it would be nice if they had it just in the basics. But then again, they got rid of all that shit because they want you to use FSD. So what are you gonna do? There was a couple instances when I was on the freeway in like the self-driving mode, to where I would do a lane change and it just wouldn't go. I don't know if it had an issue with two lanes merging and then it kept like it noticed that line wasn't available just yet, so I just took over and changed lanes myself. What else? EVs themselves, they're all gonna have freaking super freaking torque, so they're always gonna throw you in the back of your seat. Honestly, whether it be performance model or not. So that was fast, as to be expected. The color of the vehicle is super cool, a little bit of a dark blue. The frunk was nice, decent amount of room up there. You're not gonna fit like golf clubs or anything like that, but I don't know, if you want to throw a couple cold ones in there or whatever, not with some ice while you're camping, then go for it. There's a drain plug in the front, so super cool on that. Granted, I was only listening to the radio. Sound speakers were good enough, so just based off the radio, they're decent. Nothing to write home about in my opinion. Just a brief demo of them, but they'll do the job. I guess big question too, is this a Model Y killer like everyone thinks it is, all this other stuff? And I don't know. All depends on what you're trying to do with the vehicle, honestly. If you want to go over some curbs, or heck, even if you accidentally go over some curbs or any dirt roads or anything like that, and I'm not talking just, some pea gravel and all this other stuff. I'm talking like you're going to go hiking and there's some bumps along the way, basically. The R2 could easily handle that. I feel like just the design of that vehicle alone, it kind of begs for that off-roadiness and doesn't mind it at all. Whereas I'm trying to picture a Model Y on those same roads with those big old potholes as you're going to the trail, up in the mountains, anything like that. And I feel like you're going to be taking those, like, it'll make it, but I feel like you'll get there slower, even with the slightly raised ground clearance of the Model Y. But I don't think it's as nearly as high as the R2, at least. But no, overall, even coming from a Forester earlier in my driving career, that felt bigger than even the Forester. So maybe it's the Ascent that I would be thinking of, or maybe a Ford like Explorer or something someone would be cross shopping this with if they finally want to take the dive into EVs and all that good stuff. But also the route planning was super nice, being able to find the battery health of those things. Very, very easy. So when those hit the used market, 5 years down the road or whatever, not, that'll be nice to tell what the battery's sitting at. I'm also very curious in terms of those demo vehicles, how they get treated just overall, just because when I got there, the battery, sitting at 100%, took off. I dropped it maybe 3%, but I'm curious if they get charged to 100% every single day, how that affects the battery health overall. If they, I'm assuming maybe plan on selling them down the road, how that works, but that's just something to think about and look into if, I don't know, if they do sell those demo vehicles at one point. But am I looking to sell my Model 3 now and try to get an R2 and all this other good stuff? No, not really. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a bigger jump if you were going from a Ford Explorer or Subaru Ascent or Forester or something like that, and then maybe thinking about an EV and going Rivian. But if you already have one, then honestly, I feel like the hardware of the vehicle is what gets you looking at it, gets you interested, all that good stuff. But it's honestly the software that keeps you in that ecosystem. And don't get me wrong, Rivian's ecosystem is pretty good. There's some stuff that they could still fine tune and all this other stuff. You know, the whole, it was weird, but their turn signaling thing I'm used to in my Model 3, you tap it once and it turns on the turn signal like it should. And I was doing that in the R2, and it would do the typical like 3 blinks and go off. So I had to hard press it down and for it to fully go off and all this other stuff. Another thing I'm used to in my Model 3 as well is when I turn on the turn signal, and as soon as I cross the lane I need to get into, it automatically turns off my turn signal. And the R2 is supposed to do that at least, but it was very finicky when I was testing it. And again, that can be done in a software update. Honestly, there was nothing like breaking in a sense of when I was demoing it. The back window was dope. I loved that feature. I don't know why other cars, gas, electric, whatever not, don't take that from Toyota for the most part, because that's super cool. Oh, another thing too is that there's a button up above towards the rear view mirror that rolls down all windows at once, so including that back window and everything. And for some reason, instead of like a pull down, because I'm thinking, you know, pull down, windows go down. No, it's reversed. So you push up into it, all the windows come down, and then when you pull down on it, all the windows go back up. Which makes sense when it's in a car door, because I'm pulling up, the window should go up, and if I push down, the window goes down. But once it's up above, then that direction doesn't make sense, at least for me. I don't know. I could just be weird. So, but no, overall, it'd be a great daily driver. I had like over 300 miles on this thing for the performance and everything like that. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. For a piece of tech, depending if you need a new vehicle now or anything like that, I don't know. Just if you can wait 5 years, then wait 5 years and, you know, get it half off. And it'd be even, I don't know, the value would just be that much more, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just anything with cars and tech. It always, if it's good now, it'll be good later. And typically with these EVs, they just get better over time with software updates. So not only do you get it at a cheaper price, but you typically get better software with it. So if you can wait, maybe just wait. So, but yeah, overall, fantastic demo. I loved being able to take it out on my own and kind of experiment that way. That was sick. So I wasn't like peer pressured with like a sales associate or anything like that. But yeah, that was super fun. Excited to possibly test some new EVs out as well. Get used to Hyundai's ecosystem, and you know, just let me test it all. Let me test it all. But all right, that's all I got for you. Take it easy.